a special sitting also at 9:30 a.m. and later on in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Now, away from that conversation, I'd like us to cross over to Meru, where the body of a 9-year-old primary school pupil who went missing early this month has been found at Gitoro Forest. Marrybelle Kapolon, a student at Consolata Primary School. Now, our Meru reporter, George Maringa, now brings us to speed with the details. George, good morning. And thank you so much for bringing us up to date. You're about to bring us up to date with this sad incident. I mean, the people went missing. The next thing is the lifeless body of these people being found in a forest. What is the latest update you're getting on the ground?
Good morning, Brenda. It's so nice to talk to you. Now, it is a sad day here in Meru County, and more specifically to the family, who are, of course, devastated for the news that they received late last night, bringing up into this morning, whereby on the 6th of this month, the late Marrybelle Kapolon, the 9-year-old, went missing, and it was around Total petrol station, and it was reported that she was on her way home with two other kids or two other schoolmates when she was called by an unknown stranger to head to a vehicle, and that is when she went missing. Now, the call for, or the search for the missing girl, the 9-year-old, was put on the 7th of this month, and unfortunately last night is when we received reports that the body had been recovered at Gitoro Forest. And according to the reports that we have received so far, Brenda, because this is just news you are receiving in as well, is that the body was discovered at Gitoro Forest, and it was discovered actually by an unknown, by a stranger, and it was deep in the forest, and it is said that actually the body was decomposing. So it is a sad story here in Meru County. We did try to pursue the story last week, Brenda, where the family was of course stricken and they didn't manage to speak to us, but we have tried to make a few calls here and there and try to see whether they will be managed to talk to us. But meanwhile, the OCPD has confirmed that, and the body was taken to level 5 morgue, where it is, of course, the family has identified and has been informed of the incident, Brenda. So it is a situation, a sad situation, and Marrybelle Kapolon was the daughter of Caroline Kemei, who is the magistrate here in Meru County. And it is a situation that left everyone in shock, because it is, the kid was just, the late Marrybelle was just disappeared, went missing, and last night is when we received news that her body had been found dead at Gitoro Forest, and the body was later transferred to the Meru Level 5 hospital morgue. Brenda?
Maringa, if I got you right, you said that Marrybelle Kapolon was walking with her friends, and an unknown person just called her. I don't know whether you have information whether her friends might or can't remember the face of the stranger who called Marrybelle.
No, Brenda, we did follow up with the DCI and the relevant offices, and apparently how it appears is that when Marrybelle was called, the other two pupils left, and that is, Marrybelle was left with the stranger, and it is not known. The information is not as clear because the police told us, the investigating agencies told us they were still pursuing the leads to the different angles of the story. But the information that we received when she went missing is that she had been called when she was just coming from school, actually headed home, because the home is just about, at the entrance of where she was kidnapped or where she was taken from, and she was headed home with her two other friends, and it is not known exactly what was made of the other two, whether they were able to identify even the vehicle, because it said that she was called into a vehicle by the stranger. It is still information, Brenda, we are still trying to pursue as well, because the family last week, as we have told you, we did try to pursue the story last week. The family, due to the sad news, of course, of the disappearance, were not able to talk to us, as well as the police who informed us, and the investigating agencies who informed us that they were still also trying to pursue the story. But that's the information that you have. A sad day, of course, for the family, and being, a person person of interest, that is a magistrate. And, it started with the disappearance of the kid. Now the kid has been found, or the late Marrybelle was found dead in a forest, and her body, of course, we are told that it was actually decomposing, which is clear indication that actually the body was not as it appears that it had been dropped there, or the incident or the murder might have been conducted days prior, because it was not a fresh death, because as I have mentioned that the body was decomposing. So we are still following it up, trying to get hold of the family as well as we are also following up with the OCPD and the relevant authorities and the DCI, because as soon as Marrybelle went missing, Brenda, is that the family reported the matter to the police, but due to the situation of the family and in the manner in which they received the news, they were not able to talk to us back then, and we are at least hoping that we'll try and get something for our viewers to keep up to date and up to tabs with the current story and the current affairs of the recovery of the dead body of the late Marrybelle Kapolon, who disappeared 2 weeks ago, and whose body was found, or the body of the 9-year-old was found at Gitoro forest last evening. Brenda.
All right, thank you so much, George Maringa from Meru County, just bringing us up to date with that third incident of the 9-year-old pupil of Consolata Primary